Hi everyone, welcome to today's session. Today, I'll be walking you through the first network automation module in Python, which is actually NetMiko. So we'll be using a typical Cisco router to simulate how we can actually use Python script to automate network devices, which means to be able to send configuration, to configure the device, to retrieve some data from it, and as well to save backup configuration. So with on my screen here, I have my my PNet lab. This is my simulation environment. On your side, you can have GNS3, Cisco CML. So the basic thing is actually you need to have a Cisco router, which you can actually use as a model here. So I have a router here. And another important part is that you must ensure connectivity from your workstation to the Cisco router. So, and the connectivity is the SSH and the ping parameter. So let's try and see. So on my VS Code terminal here, so let's see if I can ping 172.16.29.130. So I can actually ping it, and also let me try to use a telnet to the port 22 to confirm if the reachability is fine. That's it, port 22. So which shows that, okay, from my terminal here, I should be able to access the devices. So now, the interesting part of it is that you don't need to come this module. It's actually a module which you need to import, and it has some method in it. And NetMiko works with a lot of devices, Arista, HP, Juniper, a lot of that. So the only thing that differs most of them is the device type. So if you see here that it support a lot of devices. So what really differs from all of them is going to be the device type. So in this tutorial, we'll be using the Cisco IOS device type. So one thing you would observe here is that there's a particular dictionary. This dictionary contains 4 major parameters that you need: the device type, the host, which is the IP address of your router or your switch, the username, and the password. In case maybe you have enable mode on your you have a secret password or something like that, you need to put the secret password. And after that, there's a particular method. When you want to import the NetMiko command, there's a particular method called connect handler. This is the method. So once you import the method, you now pass this particular dictionary into the method. So automatically you've set up like the connectivity to the router or to the network device. So let's try it out. So the first thing you need to do is you need to import NetMiko. So to actually use NetMiko, all you need to do is just pipe install NetMiko. But I have it here already on my terminal, so that's why I don't need to install it again. But if I try it for the first time, all you need to do is to pipe install NetMiko, and from NetMiko, import what we call the connect handler. So from this connect handler, so the next thing you need to do is the device. It's a dictionary. So the first thing you need to put there is the device type, and is actually Cisco underscore iOS. So the next variable is actually the host, which is the IP address. Host, and 172.16.29.130. That's the IP address of my router. I have the username. Based on our last class, it has to be string. So that's why it is in the double quotes. And we have username. That's admin. And comma, because the list of the dictionary. So the dictionary is there. So and I have the last year, which is the password. So since we are starting the first time, um, in the second session, we are going to introduce a particular functionality whereby your password will not be visible. But starting it at the first time, let's just try this one out. So and also, so now let's call the let's declare a function. You can give it any name to inherit the connect, and now let's call it net connect, or yeah, net connect equals net connect equals connect handler. Connect handler. So there's in Python, there's something we call keywords arguments. So keywords argument, you can actually represent them. It doesn't have a position. So we have what we call keyword argument and position argument. So position argument is like, okay, you have to input the argument to a function or a method the way it's meant to be. It has like a position, but in the keywords argument, it doesn't really have a position. So that's why this instead of me like typing okay the device type, or typing all this back into this method, I can just do double asterisk, then put this method here. So with this, I'll be able to it has inherit all the properties here. So the next thing now is that let's go back to our documentation. So it's just, you don't need to cram documentation. It's available on the Python, the pip repository, or the docs. So you can just check it out. So another these are the commands. Send command is when you want to send like a one-line command. Send config set is maybe you want to send from a list of commands. When you want to send from a, you have a CSV file, or you have your test file, or you have your Jinja2 templates. So you can send config from a file. And you can also send command based on timing. Maybe you actually want to run some commands, or you have a timing function that needs to run first before the commands now go ahead. So now let's try the send command option. So for the send command, all I need to do is I actually want to check the interface status. Interface status. So by now you should understand the variable and all of that. So net connect, that's net connection that we declared earlier. So and net connect dot send command. And you put the command, just the command I use in your CLI, show IP interface brief. This is the normal command I use, and let's print it out. Print interface interface status. This is one. So and net connect dot disconnect, just to be able to gracefully shut down the connection. This connection that you've established. So let's run it. Python connect device. Yeah, interesting. So I think, yeah, there's something here. So you can see that you're able to get the function. Show IP interface brief, you're able to get the output. But another thing is that you see, that's one of the interesting things about Python. So it has no attributes. It shows that the function has no attribute called disconnect. So so do you mean disconnect? So I think there is an N has to be put here. It's not properly spelled. So I'll run it again. Show interface brief. Interesting. So you can still change this command. Maybe show interface description. can change the command. So just the same way, maybe you want to retrieve commands from a lot of devices and all of that, or maybe show IP routes. So you can actually change the command to anything you want, maybe as far as this Cisco CLI command that you actually you show IP routes. So I think it doesn't have a. So you can say show IP routes, and it gives all the routes just as the way. So you don't even need to log into your Cisco CLI, switching mobile extern or putty session. You can actually do everything right from your VS Code terminal. So now let's try an interesting part. So we actually have let's try a particular module, and let's say we have let's call it config equals a list of commands. Let's say I think one of the interface here is still not used. Let's try it. So let's say one of the interface here, interface internet 0/2. So let's say it's a list of command, comma, IP address 10.10.10.1 255.255.255.2 .252, and then comma. Let's put description configured using Python, and the last thing to do, let's put node shutdown. So this is just the typical configuration that we are configuring an IP address on an interface. So this is done. So now we're going to send this command. But before that, let's try to check, okay, interface status. Let's show IP interface brief. So we'll actually know what we have before. Let's call it before change. Let's call it before change. Let's say interface before, and I'll write here interface before, and so I have it here, so it's going to show me. So the next thing is going to, let's say, config interface, and let's put in the command net connect, same net connect, this particular function, dot send underscore config underscore set. So you don't need to cram it. Everything is here inside documentation. I'm going to share this in the YouTube description, so you'll be able to have all the documentation that you need. So probably I'm sending a command, send config set from a list. In the next session, we'll be trying to do from a configuration file, so that we can actually cover all the modules that we need to. So, and yeah, so config. So after then, let's try another thing. So we've actually done the configuration. So the next thing is so interface after net config. So let's print interface after. So we have it here, and at the end of the day, we are going to disconnect. So let's put some interesting things here. Maybe something like this. Touching this just to make it look interesting. So I'm going to save this and let me run the command. So you can see, interesting. So you can see what we have before the change. Before we change, we have this the interface description. But after changes, we already have the interface here. So now let's so you can see that it's actually working and it's interesting, right? So we can to even get more further changes, we can just highlight this. Highlight this. I've highlighted this and let me show interface description. Show interface description and then interface describe and let me just put it here. Show interface. So let's print it. So interface description. Let's save it. I'm saving it and running the command. So just for us to be able to see what has happened, can you see interface 02, Ethernet 02, and configured using Python. The description is there. We have it there. So another thing now is I want to show you something very interesting here. So what if I want to like just put some F string here? So let's say print. You know F string we used it in the last time to be able for us. So connecting to the router with IP address. So I can actually go inside this dictionary and then pick, I'll be able to pick the device and the host. So let me just, since I'm using an F string, so I need to use a curly braces, host, then so I'm going to use, it's going to be, the first thing is going to be the device, that's the dictionary name, device. Then I'm going to now take, so I want to take this IP address out of it. So, yeah. But the problem is, this is a variable. Actually, this is a variable. Device is a variable. So I don't need to put maybe double quotes there. But host is not a variable, it's a string. So the best thing I can do, I can't use double quotes here because double quote I've already started on. Python is going to flag it. Because double quote, I already used double quote inside my F string. So now the best thing I can use is use a single quote. That's one of the interesting thing when you're working with Python. Nobody will actually teach you. So working with that's the best thing for you to be able to understand how to work with strings, lists, and dictionaries. So if I change this host, I change it to maybe double quote, you would see that Python will flag it. Can you see? Unterminated expression in F string. So because your F string are started with double quotes, so the best thing you can do is to come here and use a single quote. So after using a single quote, so let's run the command again. So based on the command, connecting to the router with IP address, can you see? So it was able to pick up the IP address automatically without even me typing the address manually. So in the next session, we'll be automating 3-4 devices, maybe from a CSV file, and try to run some commands across all of them using a template. So thank you for watching this video. See you in the next session. And if you have any question, you can put it in the comment section. And thank you for your time.